Hi, welcome to the Pursuit of Truth. So there's two stories I saw on Sky News that interest me, and I thought I'd put them on the Pursuit of Truth, get your views, comments and etc. of the three listeners that I have, viewers, whatever you want to call us, that I have. So the first one, it sort of plays into, the last few Pursuits of the Truth, which has been about my fight, as it were, to get equality for SEN funding or neurodivergence to be the same as neurotypicals on day one, not year one. And this whole struggle of getting heard and getting seen, because the thing is that this idea of one person can change the world, well, it is possible, but that one person has to be connected or famous or influential, or a leader of some sort in an organisation, because the ordinary one person on the street, it's easy just to ignore them, as I've been finding out, because, I've written these letters to Steve Barclay and whoever else, and they don't even listen to the thousands of people that are striking, for the NHS or the teachers' unions. So if they can ignore them and not even go to meetings with them, and for how many months has these strikes for the teachers and the trains and the post and etc. Been going on since was the end of last year, wasn't it? And still they're going on, and still they haven't made an agreement. And 4 days, I think it was this week, of the junior doctors. How many people may have died because of withholding of this artificial money? Anyway, so this one, what it plays into that is this report about Islamophobia. The MP Nusrat Ghani, was it about Mark Spencer? Some allegations. And it's not about the allegations, because I guess the problem is you never know what anyone said, but I would find it difficult for to believe. I suppose it is possible that people would make lies about these things, because to stand up and say I've been racially abused, or I've been attacked, or I've been raped, or whatever, the stigma that comes across that, and the difficult battle, like with me standing up to say about the funding, the difficulties of that and the stress, people I wouldn't have thought would do it, because a lot of people don't bother because of that, and that's why things don't get changed. But it was just this idea of a report's been done and they couldn't find any evidence, and basically that means that it's he versus she, and because they can't prove it, they're going to pretend it didn't happen, and that's it, carry on with your jobs. And that's what the Prime Minister, and that to me questions his morality, in that sense that, I suppose the thing is, I'm assuming that the guy's guilty, but I don't know, just this, how easy it is to get someone to write a report and then, wash it all away like it doesn't exist. So let me play you this so you can hear about that story. And then I've got one more after this.
With Mark Spencer then identified himself in a series of tweets as a person that had been part of that conversation, but completely refuted what Nusrat Ghani said, saying that it was completely false and defamatory. So what ensued was a Cabinet Office investigation. We've been waiting a long time. Now we have that report from the ethics advisor, Sir Laurie Magnus. Effectively, he is saying this is a he said, she said situation, and there isn't enough evidence to prove that Mark Harper said what has been alleged. I'll read you part of the report. He says that despite a review of considerable evidence, it has not been possible to draw a clear picture of what was discussed between Mr. Spencer and Ms. Ghani during two meetings, which both agreed took place on the 4th and 23rd of March 2020. These discussions are central to the allegations made. Ms. Ghani and Mr. Spencer have differing accounts of these meetings, with different recollections of what was said. It's interesting because he is...
I mean, I don't mean to be funny, but took 3 years to decide whether a conversation was accurate or not. And the very fact that you would have, obviously it's going to be he versus she, because no criminal, no thief, well, very few of them, ever puts their hands up and says, yeah, I do it. Look at Boris Johnson and Partygate. Look at, there's many examples of people being found out to lie, because that, unfortunately, that's part of the fabric of humanity, that we are able to do that, or we're taught how to do that. It may not be intrinsic, but it's certainly ability that we're all taught and do. And therefore to say that, well, because they're different accounts, of course they're going to be different accounts. I guess the problem is if there was no witnesses, then it's easy just to say, well, it didn't happen then. Carry on with your jobs.
Go on to criticise in some parts Mark Spencer's behaviour. He says that there could have been, if the meeting had been more formal, if a witness had been present, then this problem would never happened in the first place. He also questions the information that was given to the Prime Minister at the time and Mark Spencer's tweets, but Rishi Sunak, but he does decide that there isn't enough evidence to decide that Mark Spencer has broken the rules, and he did indeed say what's been alleged. The Prime Minister has since released his response, saying, in the absence of clear evidence, it would not be right to take further action. I've spoken to both ministers and encouraged them to heed your advice to pull together in the finest tradition of public service. So the Prime Minister there clear that he wants a line to be drawn under this. And of course, both Mark Spencer and Nuz Ghani are ministers under Rishi Sunak. We have also had a response from Nuz Ghani, who remains, as I say, a minister in the business department. She says, there is no criticism or doubt expressed regarding my version of events. Others will have to explain the report, noting the omissions, shortcomings, incomplete information, inaccurate briefings, and claims implied without evidence in their actions and story. We all serve at the Prime Minister's choosing, and there is no shame in a political career ending, but to be told your faith and identity is the reason for it cannot be acceptable in any way. So some pretty clear criticism there of Mark Spencer. She talks about the devastating impact that this had on her at the time, says she stands by her allegations, but she does thank the Prime Minister. It's pretty clear, I think, from the letters from the ethics advisor, Sir Laurie Magnus, and Rishi Sunak, that they want a line to be drawn under this, and both Nuz Ghani and Mark Spencer remain in their jobs this evening. Mark Spencer, a minister in the Department for Environment, Nuz Ghani, a business minister. I think you get the sense from all these letters today that a line will be drawn under this. But as I say, Nuz Ghani standing by her allegations.
Well, yeah, a letter will be drawn because you've got no choice, is it? I mean, despite all it seemed to me from that, I haven't read the report, but it seemed that there was a few discrepancies within Mark Spencer, and that surely would be enough to cast doubt. I don't know. But, of course, this is how the world is. When you want to keep your friends in power, and etc. Now I've got another one. Where is it? Just a short one, this one. I can't even remember what it was about now. What was it about? Oh, okay. So this was a bit worrying, this one, because it's just to show, I think the reason why I wanted to include this is just how, we, in life, we put people in a place of trust, and I'm just trying to rewind to it now. I've lost where it is. It was to do with the Birmingham hospital, which looks like a brand new, beautiful hospital. Why have I lost it now? That was at the beginning, wasn't it? It was a beautiful looking hospital, and you think that people in the world will care for individuals. Oh, I lost the wrong one here. Why is it not playing?
Completely new.
Sorry, I'm waffling here because I'm trying to find the bit that I'm going to play to you. But people will often come up with the idea that people are, to be trusted because they work in a trusted environment, and it's difficult then to prove when things go wrong because no one believes you. And this story just goes to show that just because someone is in a trusted position, you expect everything to be done properly, and lo and behold, it isn't. So I'm going to play it to you now. Here it is.
Rinavtotsi, Sky News, Sheffield.
Last month, a damning report found that a culture of bullying at one of England's biggest NHS trusts could put the care of patients at risk. And now, the daughter of a dying patient has told Sky News the hospital in Birmingham where she was treated is not fit for purpose. University Hospitals Birmingham NHS Trust says it takes all concerns seriously. This report from Becky Johnson.
Some people described me and my mum as each other's soulmates. And we were.
In the final months of her life, Hannah's mother, Carmel, was admitted to hospital in Birmingham. While she was there, Hannah became increasingly concerned.
I was told directly by my mum, when I saw the bruises, that she had to throw herself out of bed to be able to get to a drink.
Carmel also suffered a fall in hospital. It was 2021, and with COVID restrictions in place, visiting was limited. But when Hannah did go in, she was horrified.
We'd been told that she hadn't got long to live at this point, and I lifted the blanket to find, oh God, a massive pool of blood. It's absolutely disgusting that someone could be left in such a state in the middle of the hospital. It's not fit for purpose at the moment.
She made a formal complaint in November 2021. The hospital has said its review of the case is still ongoing and it will respond to the family as soon as possible. It's apologised for the delay. This all happened at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Birmingham, where last month a damning report highlighted ongoing problems. The report found that the culture among staff is so toxic here that it could be putting patients at risk. It's prompted people who feel angry about things that they've seen and experienced in this hospital to speak out. Former soldier Paddy Gallagher is among them.
I witnessed on multiple wards, on multiple occasions, during multiple admissions, elderly, vulnerable patients being left in their own urine and excrement. Their attitude towards you makes you feel almost like you don't deserve the treatment you're getting.
A spokesperson for University Hospitals Birmingham said, "We aim to provide the best possible care. However, we acknowledge that we do not always get it right, and we're sorry where any patient or family feels there is cause to raise concern." But there are still 2 further reports yet to be published on the problems at one of England's largest NHS trusts. Becky Johnson, Sky News, Birmingham.
There you go. You see, but the thing is, like, also to do with my podcast about when you try and complain, how long? 2 years. The bureaucracy in politics and government and these kind of things needs to be sorted out. No, it shouldn't take that long for someone to get to the bottom of the truth. Come on. I guess let's say it's gathering information, but in today's email age, you wouldn't think it that difficult. So there you go. That's the world we live in. And we wouldn't know about it if it wasn't for the media. What other worse things are going on? Begs the question, why are we living in a world like this that's creating these problems where we can live in a better way? Take care, take it easy. All the best and peace.